Okay, so foldable phones have come a very long way, and with the new OPPO Find N6, they claimed to have ironed out the creases. But have they? Thanks to its second generation titanium flexion hinge, it's 8.93mm thick, it's 225 grams light, and with the Cosmo Ring camera module on the back, it's nice and symmetrical, and we also get a snap key on the side, which defaults to the AI mind space. The volume keys are lower as well, so it's good for easier reach since this is a very long phone. It has a reinforced hinge structure, which allows it to stay flat for over a long period of time, no matter how many times you flex it, fold it. You have the outer display, which is finished in customized nanocrystal glass, so nice and durable, and the rear is finished in aircraft grade material, again keeping it nice and thin. It's IP56, 58 and 59 water and dust resistance, so again it's nice and durable. And the display are fantastic as well. We're talking this outer display, which is 6.62 inch display. It's got LTPO, so it goes from 1 to 120 Hz refresh. It's 431 ppi rated and 2616 by 1140 in terms of the actual pixel count. It has Dolby Vision and HDR Vivid. It's 2160 Hz PWM dimming rated, and for the brightness, we're talking 3600 nits of peak brightness and 1800 nits of outdoor brightness. Open it up and you get 8.12 inch display. This has also got LTPO, so 1 to 120 Hz refresh. You can go as low as 1 Hz, which is fantastic for battery life and also making sure that you're not just wasting energy, right? And also, PPI is good on here. We're talking 412 PPI, 2480 by 2248 pixels. Dolby Vision and HDR Vivid is available as well. 2160 Hz PWM dimming and 1800 nits of outdoor brightness and 2500 nits of peak brightness. In terms of the color available, you have the Stellar Titanium and this Blossom Orange, which is my favorite color. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Next, let's talk about the crease, because I think that's the main marketing messages that you would have seen online so far about the Find N6. And one thing they keep saying is Zero-Feel Crease, which I think some people are getting wrong with being able to see it. Yes, you can still see it depending on how you shimmer the light against the display and what you're viewing on the actual display itself. But where it really shines is that actual zero feel, because when you're using it, you don't really feel that ridge in the middle as you normally do on the previous generation or on the competitors on the market, which is absolutely insane to be able to do that. And it just remains flat even over time. And if you keep folding it and unfolding it, it will go back again and just remain flat, which I think they've thought about it to make it, to keep that zero feel for as long as possible. This is made possible with that second generation titanium flexion hinge, and is designed to allow the display to be flat for as long as possible, like I was saying. So they've rated this for more than 600,000 folds, which is incredible. You have auto smoothing flex glass, which adds to that effect as well. So naturally, it springs back when you keep unfolding it and folding it. So to answer the question about have they ironed out the creases, I don't think they've fully done it yet. It's not 100%, but I like what they're doing. It's progress, because now we can't feel that ridge the way we used to be able to feel it before. And depending on what you're viewing on the display, you might not be able to see that crease as well. You just get used to it very quickly. For the processor and performance, we have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, 6000 mAh silicon carbon batteries in there as well. It supports 80 watts SuperVOOC, or if you don't have a SuperVOOC charger, then 55 watts third party can be supported as well. But then we have 50 watts AirVOOC, so you can charge this wirelessly very quickly. Again, important, very cool. And for storage, we have 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5X and a 512 gigabytes of internal UFS 4.1 storage. The improvements that they've made on this doesn't stop there as well. The camera also sees some improvement, which is actually noticeable. The Hasselblad collaboration is still there, so we're talking 200 megapixel Hasselblad camera for the main. We have a new 50 megapixel ultra wide, which you notice the difference here. And you also have 50 megapixel 3x periscope camera, which is also capable of doing 6x optical quality zoom. So the keyword here is the quality zoom, so it's not actually 6x optical. You have 120x digital, which I don't know why they still include this. No one can actually use it. And it's capable of telemacro at up to 10 centimeters. For the selfie shooters, we have two 20 megapixel cameras there available, so fill your boots. For the camera spec geeks, the main camera is a Samsung sensor. It's ISOCELL HP5 with aperture at f1.8. The 50 megapixel ultra wide is JN5 sensor f2.0. So offers 15mm ultra wide, and the tele is 50 megapixel JN5 as well, f2.7, offering 70mm focal length, and you have a true color camera at 21mm and f2.4. So how's the actual camera quality in the real world? I think they've done a really good job there. Low light is good. Generally, the photos coming out of this are really good. Skin tones are accurately reproduced as well, which I really like. And regardless of which focal length you go in, from ultra wide to main to up to 10x, I think it still looks good. Anything past 10x, it's AI doing all kind of different things to try and make this work, and it doesn't look quite as good as you want it to be. But for me, mostly I don't shoot anything past that anyway, so I just go to about 2x, 4x, and I'm happy with it. But if you're sticking to those optical zoom range limits, I think you'll be fine. Anything outside of that, you start to see AI overproducing things and just doing all kind of different things. But other than that, though, I think they've done a really good job, and I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with the low light photography and video performance as well. You can even shoot log on this thing, and 4K videos there as well, obviously. And when you shoot log, you can see previews in your H-Log or Rec 709. You can even see that as well. So in terms of creativity, this is definitely there for that. And I really appreciate the pen as well for editing and all that kind of stuff. So why do we actually need a foldable phone? I think it's all about the multitasking and having that extra screen on the inside to be able to do things like gaming, watching movies on the go, and just a bigger screen real estate to do stuff. So, and when you don't need that, you can always fold it back and have just a standard phone screen. And it's thin enough to carry this around and not worry about that. So to help with that productivity, you have free flow window, which allows you to open up to 4 apps simultaneously and move them around. You can adjust the sizes freely. You can adjust the aspect ratio. So this allows you to be nice and productive. So you can have apps side by side, drag pictures from one app to the other, for example, have your calendar on one side, emails on the other side. Up to you what you want to do there. Then you have this OPPO AI Pen, which is actually fantastic because now that we have the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, which has less functionality on the pen, this is actually a good time to release this back with, I say back, to bring it with Bluetooth functionality, which allows for things like remote shutter, for example. And you have 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity, which is good. Palm rejection is good as well. And 3 minutes of charge will allow for 60 minutes of creative work, which is good. So good battery life is there as well. So you can do things like quick note as well. And most importantly, you can even do laser pointer, which I think is kind of cool. So overall, the OPPO Find N6 does answer that question about the crease. They've kind of ironed it out. It's not perfect, but it's an improvement. It's much better. The camera is good as well. Battery life on this thing is absolutely insane as well. 6,000 mAh battery lasts me a whole day and then some, and fast charge is available as well. So I think overall they've done a really good job, and I like the slim profile of it as well. It's just nice and smart to have. There's a case in the box as well if you want to put a case on it to keep it extra safe. The speakers, not so good on this. It's not that loud, could be louder. But other than that though, I think overall this is a great package and reasonably priced as well for a foldable device compared to what else we have on the market today. But over to you, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.